Privilege now to introduce Youth Justice Voices, who are going to discuss participation in a pandemic. Youth Justice Voices is a national creative participation project for young people aged 16 to 25 that is run through CYCJ and staff. It aims to influence change and amplify the voice of care experienced young people with a justice experience. It is led by Youth Just Us, that's the steering group, and supported by Ruth Kerrica as Youth Justice Participation Worker. And the project is funded by the Life Changes Trust. In just 2 years, Youth Just Us have helped influence the Disclosure Scotland Bill. It's been commissioned by the Scottish Government to work on the new vision and action plan for youth justice, and it's created a digital exhibition of issues-based artwork for the Artivism project that you will hear more about and see a video on today. So I would love to introduce you to Kevin and Chris from Youth Just Us, who are going to speak to you this morning. They are both happy to take any questions before they show the Artivism video, so please do put them in the chat and I can ask them. So over to you guys. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Hiya. I'm Kevin and I'm a participation consultant on the youth-led steering project inside Youth Justice Voices, Youth Just Us. I'm along here today with Chris, a volunteer on this project. I began volunteering in this project in 2019, passionate about the space that was due to be created where care and justice experienced people can come together and have their voices heard. We're aimed at 16 to 25-year-olds with care and justice experience, and we aim to improve policy and practice by ensuring youth justice voices influence existing strategy and policy. Over to Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris. So I got involved through the project maybe last August. Yeah, it was about last August last year. So I got involved as I feel it's really important that young people should be empowered and should be helped to amplify their voices to a wider audience, but also at a national level. So our approach for the group is always, it starts with building relationships. So the way that happens, or the way it happened for me, was I met Ruth and Kev on a Zoom call just before I came into one of the bigger meetings. So I could get to know Kev and get to know Ruth. People need to know that their views matter, so our young people need to know that their voice does matter. We engage always on our own terms, so if we want to take a 6-week break, we can take a 6-week break. If we don't want to be involved in a project or an opportunity, that's totally fine as well. There's never any pressure. Right now, as we're all experiencing, we're taking part in different spaces, virtual, but also the real world. And also the groups that we arrange what we want to do in the groups. We tell Ruth or Kev what we're wanting to do that week or that month, and they always make sure to try and accommodate where possible. And again, the change is led through young people, through a meaningful participation process. So what we mean by that is we'll do different view gallery nights, is what I'd probably call them. And they'll just be creative sessions and fun and relaxed sessions where we can share our views.
Times when this project managed to make a difference is when we managed to do a podcast with the then Education Secretary, John Swinney, where I put to him my injustice of being excluded from a care experience bursary because of an age cap. John listened to this, and a week later, the age cap was removed. We've also met with Marie Todd, the then Children's and Young Persons Minister, to discuss with her the Disclosure Scotland Bill and the effects that might have on the young people. We've also consulted on the UNCRC and shared the views of our young people on that.
So we were asked by the Scottish Government around about August, September time last year to share our views about the new youth justice strategy that was published yesterday morning. So we were asked to share our views, so we decided to design workshops and activities to gather other young people's views as well. The whole reason for the workshops was so we could tell the Scottish Government what the next youth justice policy should focus on for the next 2 years and beyond. And we believe it's really important that young people are listened to and involved in these important decisions, because at the end of the day, it's going to be affecting our lives now, but in the future, but also the next generation of young people will be affected by the changes we have suggested to the Scottish Government to make.
We got really creative in the project when the young people collaborated with No Knives, Better Lives and game designers at Pocket Sized Hands to create this interactive video game aimed at raising discussion about knife crime. And along with Chris, as I say, who was instrumental in this project. Chris, could you tell us more?
Yeah, so No Knives, Better Lives Pocket Sized Games, it was also a collaboration with YouthLink Scotland. It was a great idea, so they came to the group and they asked if we would like to be involved. And first of all, it was just involved in the design of the game. So it was really just involved in the aesthetics of the game, how it would look, how it would run, how it would really change people's views on knife crime. And then a discussion happened around voiceover sort of work and that. So I was quite happy to do some voiceover work, and I was quite lucky to be one of the young people who got a lead role in the game. And it was quite nice to be able to give them that opportunity. But what also was quite nice was the fact is we helped design the script of the game as well in the meetings, and we changed, me and other young people who were a part of it, we changed quite a lot of the scripts, which was quite cool. Also, on the back of all that sort of work and on the back of having a chance to use the game and be and all that, we were invited to be a part of to do a podcast with CYC, with staff and the YouthLink Scotland, and really with all the people involved, so we could talk about how we really enjoyed the game and really went in more detail. So yeah, if you get a chance, please take a listen to that.
Just now, we're applying for funding so we can progress this project, make it national, where more young people can participate, and the ones that are currently involved in the project can train to become peer mentors like I did, and then participation consultants, hopefully. Our plans for the near future are just to meet up again. We're hoping in the next couple of weeks to get a gathering and meet some of the young people that have joined us during the pandemic. So we're excited about that. I'm going to take some questions from you guys. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much. So Kev, we've got a few questions coming through. So the first one is, you've achieved so much. What do you see as the next priorities where you would like to make a difference?
To myself, I think the next priorities would be obviously to get funding for the project, to make it bigger, national, and get more young people involved. I think that would be the urgent priority.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely, definitely. And what advice would you give organisations who are just starting on the participation journey, or if there's any social worker organisations swithering about whether they should get young people involved, what advice would you give them?
Go ahead. Talk to your young people, start at the level where they're at, take their knowledge and see where it can grow, and just assist in any way you can with funding and the likes, and the creation of spaces to facilitate projects like us.
I think for me personally, for the things organisations should remember if they're just starting out, is always just ask your young people what they want to do. So make it about them, and make it so your policies or your strategies work for them. So make sure that they're involved in writing their strategies and involved in planning what they wish to do.
And just a couple more questions. How do you think we can best get young people involved with the project and encourage them to engage?
Whatever means possible. We've had young people who have engaged on this project who have spoke to us by text for a year. You need to start where they're at, and slowly that might build confidence where they can become that confident enough to meet other young people. I think it's just about us selling the good work we do. And this is all about fun as well. We get together and we have such a laugh, and that's when the relationships are built through the use of creativity and other things like that.
Yep. Just last question, I think, what have you enjoyed the most?
I can't pinpoint anything, Fiona. It's just been an absolute ball, and I think the big thing for me is we've managed to keep going through a pandemic, and it's so exciting now. Like I was talking about, getting ready to then meet up again and make this project bigger and better.
Definitely. Chris, anything from you? What you enjoyed the most?
See, that's the thing. I'm like Kev. I don't think I can pinpoint one thing because we've done that much and we're doing that much. I guess the only thing, if I had to choose one thing, it would be the fact is we're still developing, we're still getting young people on board, and we're still having that sort of space to say we're welcoming you on so we can hear your views, and we're able to do that. Is probably the one thing that I'm enjoying.
Yep. No, definitely. It's just fantastic, all the work you've done. It's just been so much, and definitely through a pandemic, it's just been fantastic. Okay, will we see some of the work in action? Will we play the Artivism video and just show some of the work that Youth Justice have been involved in? Thank you.
Thanks for listening and all your questions. We wanted to take you into the direct.
Art was always something that I really enjoyed, but kind of growing up in that scheme and stuff, it was something that you want to kind of encourage today as a kind of career going forward. The care experience kids as well, they do have lots of worries, they do have lots of fears, so they need an outlet for that.
When I was in care, I always felt like, you know, people were making decisions about me and not with me, and I always felt dead like curled up in a ball. So I always wanted to, you know how when you feel dead stressed out or whatever, and you just want to go into a hole and stay there, and for everybody to leave you alone. Well, that's how I felt. I felt like I always wanted to be in my box and just stay there. Before you've even got into the placement, they've already made judgments about you because they've read your file and stuff like that. And they say that you're more likely to go to prison than you are to university.
My piece is about the inequalities in higher education and who has the privilege of going to university. It was inspired by my own experience of trying to navigate further in higher education as a care experience person from a so-called deprived area.
Yeah, to give these kids a voice, these young people a voice, in a way of actually kind of getting those feelings across. It really kind of impacts me.
Life is hell on earth. Death is a silent paradise. Life is hard, but sometimes worth the fight. And sometimes not worth the fight. Everyone has a light inside them. Some are brighter than others. Some lights' lives are cut short. Others turn off the light inside of them. Life is how dark or bright you make it.
Wow, that was just brilliant. And Kev, Chris, is there anything you can tell us about being involved in the Artivism project and what it was like? The video is just so brilliant. That is the second time I've seen it, and I see other people from in the chat saying that as well.
Yeah, so the project was a fantastic thing to be involved in, because what it done was it created discussion. That the way Scott Lang, the artist, gets his work done is a stenciling project, where at the beginning we decided to talk about a topic, what meant something to the young person, and we were then referred to magazines where we could cut out pictures that might be related to this, and then the pictures were then put onto stencils, and week after week the pieces started to reveal themselves and started to show the story behind them. This was an absolute amazing thing to see, and the young people involved were absolutely kind of taken aback, because they didn't expect it to be so good. I think that's the feeling I got from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just great. Chris, were you involved in that project directly? Is there anything you want to add?
I wasn't involved with that project.
No, okay. I think a lot of people are asking for links. I'm just seeing in the chat. So I think there's been a link shared. There's the YouTube link. You can get in touch with Ruth through CYCJ or through staff. You can follow Youth Justice Voices on Twitter. I think the link's been shared for the No Knives Better Lives work as well. And I think, yeah, you'll see the chat that's coming up, Kevin, Chris. It's just brilliant, and we're really so pleased you're able to be here today and share the work you've been doing, and share that video with us as well. It's really powerful messages and things, I think, for us all to think about. And
Yeah.
if there are any other young people aged 16 to 25 who anyone here is currently working with who would like to join, really do get in touch with Ruth, and she'd be happy to meet, and with Kev, and they'd be happy to meet with them and talk them through what it's like. And similarly, if there's any young people within our security who would like to get in touch with Wendy and look at maybe becoming a member of STAR, we'd also welcome that. So boys, any final thoughts? Are you happy to leave it?
Thanks everyone, thanks for listening to us, and like Fiona says, get your young people involved. Cheers.
Thanks, Kev.